The victim in case number 2275 were law enforcement officers, unreasonable risk to others, multiple separate offenses, and use of a deadly weapon with a sharp instrument. And I considered mitigation during the scoring of the case.
Commissioner, would the 7 years be December of 2029 or 2030?
Is it 24? Back it up 2 months.
I agree with the 7-year interview of December 2030. I've considered mitigation during the scoring of this case. I know Mr. Dupree's long history within the Department of Corrections as well as other departments of corrections across the country. Previous parole violations, and I think the extended interview is consistent of any mitigation is appropriate for December of 2030.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Before I continue, I want to recognize our law enforcement. Thank you for providing service to us at every meeting. And Commissioners, have you had an opportunity to the minutes of the April 10th, 2024 meeting?
Madam Chair, I have reviewed those minutes and I'd like to move them as prepared.
Second.
All right, thank you. Those minutes will be moved. The docket, we have item 2 on page 2, Charles Anderson. If you'd like to be heard on the Anderson case, you can come forward or press star 2.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that case to the full commission for consideration of an extension greater than 60 months.
Okay.
This case will now be moved to the full docket where all 3 commissioners will vote, but since we don't have anyone on the line or anything, we'll go ahead and temporarily pass that. Item 3 on page 2, Jean Committee. You're here on the committee case. Come forward or press star 6. Good morning. And how do you pronounce your last name? Hi, baby.
Hey, we are continuing with the panel portion of the docket, taking up the case of John Committee. Before the commission, we have a subsequent interview that was conducted on February 19, 2024 at the Everglades Correctional Institution. The commission investigator is recommending a reduction. Good morning. Are you appearing in support or opposition? Okay. And ma'am, you are also appearing in support? Okay. You'll have up to 10 minutes to share between the two of you to make comments. And you would state your name prior to making comments. We'd like to hear from you at this time.
I've known Jean for 30 years. My dad was a senior chaplain at Henry Correctional Institution for 16 years. In 1994, my dad selected Jean to work for him as a chaplain. My dad was a unique chaplain in many ways. One such way is that he invited inmates into our family practice. He became a father figure that most inmates did not have, and I became their little sister. I was not sheltered from the reality of what these men had done, but my dad modeled what forgiveness is. I learned a valuable lesson that people can change. I learned to see people, including men on my dad's staff, for who they are now, not defining them or labeling them by their crime. Because of my dad's method of rehabilitating prisoners, I gained some brothers, and Jean was one of them. The only one still incarcerated. As a matter of fact, my husband and I had about 5 or 6 former inmates that are living, one of them today. My dad and we believe that true and lasting transformation is the result of a heart change, a change that is the work of God. The most important thing my dad did was point them to Jesus, the one who died for their worldly sins and rose again, so that they could be free from the guilt and power that sin of that sin and have new life in him. This required repentance or genuinely turning from their old life and submitting to God and to law. The evidence that conversion is genuine is a changed life. The Christian life doesn't mean our consequences for sin will disappear, but this provided a freedom in the hearts of men and purpose for life. When Jean turned away from sin and submitted his life to Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, his sin was wiped away. Jean is a changed man, change rooted on the inside. And for the past 30 years, He has proven that over and over again. He didn't change his behavior to get into CTP. The man he is now is the man I have observed before CTP even existed. To be consistent in narrative that God on this does not by exemplifying the power of God to transform a man. His life is dominated by obedience to God and His Word, the Bible. Sin still abounds in prisons, but Gene always chooses what is right, which is recognized by officers and other inmates. He's even had occasions where his life was nearly taken because he did what was right. He's a faithful student of the Bible, attending classes, leading others in prayer and studying. He's a prayer warrior. Every night he calls for prayer in the dorm, praying and gathering with men to pray. The Bible says the fruit of the Spirit, or the evidence that God is in a person, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That describes Gene. We have a 13-year-old daughter at home, and I will not hesitate for Gene to meet her in our home. Gene is deserving of being placed in CTP. He's 72 years old. I humbly ask that you consider his age when selecting his criteria age. What joy it would be for my 87-year-old father, Gene's former chaplain, to sit in our home and enjoy a meal together. So that Gene can finish out his life free on this earth. Thank you. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Bianca. I am Gene's sister. We're raised in Haiti by all working parents. And in the other 150 years. Gene had been a hard-working person. He's compassionate, reliable, and respectful. He took so many classes while he's in prison. And I think that those classes will help them in the future to serve people and to participate as we can. That's all.
Thank you. Ma'am, could you give us your last name?
Q-I-R-E-N-T.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes, go ahead.
Because Dr. Clutton is going to speak, but the other
We'll note that, President.
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
My name is Russell Durr. I'm the husband of Rebecca and the son-in-law of Lloyd Peterbaum. I'm going to read his letter that he wrote 6%. Whom it may concern, as a former Army chaplain serving the United States Army and retiring after 20 years, serving as a senior chaplain at Henry Correctional Institution for 16 years, I wish to speak on behalf of Gene Cometti. Gene Cometti worked on my chapel staff, enabling me to know him as a very trusted man, exhibiting incredible integrity. What impressed me most was his character, as he is a man who not only believes in Christ as the Lord and Savior, but who daily lives what he believes. Gene immensely impressed both the correctional administrative staff, but the correctional officers as well. Gene provided clear, solid guidance to other inmates how to straighten out their lives and live appropriately on the prison compound as someone who now lives on earth. Gene qualified for these programs that were released him soon and send him back to a society that needs an example of how a should live respectfully. I highly recommend Gene to be placed in the Board of Corrections program immediately. As one who has worked with a multitude of inmates and a multitude of chaplain staff and inmates, I place Gene at the top. Sincerely, Lloyd Peterbaum. I have 3 minutes left, but from my perspective, I married into a family of servants, and after 30 years in the United States Army, I've seen a lot of people come and go. And Gene is one of those guys that I remember. So in my life as a career soldier, there's only a few people I remember, and that's what I call the character. And from my perspective, in the last 2 years of visiting him personally in prison and getting to know him dearly, I say that this man is a man of character. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
morning, Commissioner Coonrod, Commissioner Davis, and Commissioner White. My name is Jeffrey Reuter, CTP and House Coordinator for NOAA Community Outreach. I know Gene, and first his name didn't recognize until she started talking about Gene, and I know Gene from Everglades, and he works in the chapel, and he has a phenomenal character. Every time I went to the chapel, he always made me feel welcome, no matter what my spirit was, whether I was high, low, no matter what it was. When I saw Gene, he lifted me up. He has a very uplifting personality and uplifting character. He is a man of integrity, and he would be ideal for CTP. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reuter. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in support in the Gene Kamite case? Hearing none, we'll see if there's anyone who'd like to speak in opposition. Okay. Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote in this case. I've had the opportunity to review this case in its entirety. I've listened very closely to the testimony and support. However, due to the serious nature of the offenses, my vote is to disagree with the recommendation of reduction. My vote is to make no change, leaving the PPRD of September 21, 2084 in place. I will set this for a 3-year review of December 2026. Reasons for the extended interview are multiple separate offenses, unreasonable risk to others, vulnerable victims with a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, and physical and psychological trauma to the victim. Commissioner White.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your testimony today. On my review of this case, my vote is consistent with Commissioner Davison's based upon the serious nature of the underlying offense. I would disagree with the recommendation of a reduction. I'd make no change. Leave the PPRD in place as stated by Commissioner Davison. However, I have a 7-year interview for December of 2030. The reasons adding that there were multiple victims in the case.
Commissioner, I would move to your 7-year review.
Thank you, sir. Do you agree with the multiple victims as well?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to item 4 on page 3, John Day. If you'd like to be heard on the Day case, please come forward or press star 6 now. Temporarily pass that case. Item 5 on page 3, Terrence Hill. Come forward on the Hill case if you'd like to be heard or press star 6. I will temporarily pass it. Item 6 on page 4, Charles Kelly. If you'd like to be heard on the Kelly case, please come forward or press star 6. Good morning, ma'am.
We are taking up the case of Charles Kelly. Before the commission, we have a subsequent interview that was conducted on February 27, 2024 at the Dade Correctional Institution. The commission investigator is recommending a reduction. Good morning. Welcome to the commission. Are you appearing in support or opposition? Okay. I'd like to see if there's anyone else present or on the line who will be appearing in support or in opposition in the Charles Kelly case. Hearing none. Ms. Kelly, you'll have up to 10 minutes to make a comment. If you would state your full name for the record, we'd like to hear from you at this time.
My name is Trace Kelly, and I'm here representing my husband, Parole. I've known Charles for over 3.5 decades. We have been married for 3 years, and we love him. I'm here to speak on his behalf to let you know that he's not never here to pay. There's nothing like the way he wasn't attached. Charles last review before the commission for 7 years now. Since then, Charles has continued to grow in a positive direction, making numerous accomplishments that I and our entire family are quite impressed with. Charles became an ITA and inmate teaching assistant at Dade, and during his time working in the education system, the inmates that he was teaching but now went up exponentially. It's no secret Charles' dedication to helping others and his ability to teach and helping them understand began 2.5 years ago at DCI. Don't know what the community program is. It's a community-based program that helps the inmates better themselves through a community-based approach. While also providing classes and seminars that will aid the members in areas. This community approach enables the inmates to better see of not just living in a community setting, but also putting community first. The purpose is to prepare them for a successful transition back into society, where they will understand the importance of being a positive and productive member of society. While in peer-to-peer, Charles has been the peer-to-peer support group plus the peer-to-peer support group representative, education department coordinator, the assistant coordinator, and is currently the assistant coordinator of the program. Charles controls the opinion is valued and put after on a regular basis as the members of peer-to-peer value his knowledge. Charles speaks in front of the program every day at their morning meeting. He is also overseeing while they're running properly the evening meeting and the program itself. Charles has facilitated numerous classes over the years. He is currently one of 5 inmates that were chosen and trained by the Florida Department of Corrections and the Department of Programs and Reentry to teach a self-betterment and reentry class called Getting It Right Interactive Journey. At every other institution, this class is only taught by Florida Department of Corrections staff. Currently, only 2 inmates are authorized to facilitate this class, of whom Charles is one. As of this date, Charles has completed 4 interacting journaling classes. Frederick Buss, a day's senior investigation officer with class, and the gang sergeant, Mr. Massa, Charles and the other facilitators are preparing to send a new interactive journaling class that will have all its students, 15 individuals, comprised of 3 members from each of the main 5 SECs. Monday's compound. It is the hopes of the institution and the belief that Charles and his facilitator have that this program will make a change in the lives of these individuals, which will in turn make DCI a better and safer place to live. Charles is a kind, giving person, as has been expressed. Only gives of his time to those in need, whether it be assistance with schoolwork, physical assistance, or assistance with more personal matters. It is a condition of Lord Charles an opportunity for relief. He has several options that we should consider. Of course, the proposed if we had to be able to come to our home in Maryland. Our home is sold outright. I have family and friends in Maryland, as does Charles. I work full time, so I will be able to cover any costs of these, as well as give Charles any support he will need. I have a degree in psychology. Help Charles with any post-incarceration and drug issues if he has it. However, if Charles must at first go to a transitional house, he has been accepted in North House. I know people there who have been through the program and they have been loving it and are ready to give him the support that he might need at that time. Charles also has the option of going to Virginia to stay with his sister, brother, or father, if that is necessary. Everyone in our family is ready to go to give him their support if he needs. Charles has stated that also that upon his release, he would like to be the CEO, and there is a major shortage of representatives. So that's also another job that he would have. Also, if he is allowed to go to Maryland, a job is waiting for him, and he is now transitioning back to society. Charles would also be helping the survivors of the community. Charles' unique background and experiences would make him an asset to these individuals. The job in Maryland would also allow him to go to college, getting a degree in psychology. This would aid him in helping others. Tuition would be college would be paid by the community. I ask that you please consider releasing my husband on the phone. I and our entire family pray that you will bring Charles has been constant past and has become so likely to be an asset to any community unless you live. It is not the Commission's wish to promote Trump. We do ask that you reduce his CPR rebate and transfer him to the CPR program in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in support in the Charles Kelly case? Hearing none, we'll move to any comments or testimony in opposition. Is there anyone present or on the line who would like to speak in opposition in the Charles Kelly case? Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote. We'll start with Commissioner Wayne.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ma'am, for your testimony today in relates to Mr. Kelly. When I reviewed this case in its entirety, I recognize Mr. Kelly's age at the time of the offense. I note that Mr. Kelly has never received a DR since being incarcerated, and since the last commission action has availed himself of many programs and has submitted multiple certificates. So my vote is to agree with the recommendation of a reduction of a 36-month reduction resulting in a new PPRD of October 15, 2029, and setting 3 for interview for December 2026. Reasons for the excluded interview or use of a deadly weapon to an foreign object, brutal and heinous behavior, unreasonable risk to others, and a referral to the pre-CPT program.
Commissioner, that is my vote. Mostly, I'd like to list the deadly weapon as opposed to a blunt object as a jackhammer.
I'll agree.
Otherwise, that is my vote in its entirety.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. I just want to ask the audience, were you able to hear Ms. Kelly's testimony? Okay, just want to make sure the mics are working. All right, the next case, item 7 on page 4, Victor Robinson. If you'd like to be heard in the Robinson case, please come forward and press star 6 to be heard.
David Mack, present.
Hey, we are taking up the case of Victor Robinson. Before the commission, we have a subsequent interview that was conducted on March 14, 2024 at the Northwest Florida Reception Center main unit. The commission investigator is recommending no change. I know that there are at least 2 individuals on the line who will be speaking in support. Is there anyone present or anyone else on the line who will be speaking in support in the Victor Robinson case? Hearing none, for those who are on the line, Mr. Mack, as you're fully aware, you have up to 10 minutes to share with the other persons who will be speaking in support. You can go in whichever order you would like, and if you would state your name prior to making a comment, we'd like to hear from you at this time.
Commissioners, Reverend Harris will be speaking first, and then I will close the presentation. Reverend Harris.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Pastor Lee Harris. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you. Normally, I am there in person, speaking on behalf of Victor Robinson. I want to thank you for the times that I have been there. I've been working with Victor now for a little over 20 years. When his mother came to me, I was her pastor. We started to try to work towards bringing Victor around to where he would be able to come home. That was her desire. We worked with the commission, and I'm just happy that we saw much change. For 11 years, I did not see one problem with Victor. We was able to go through the faith empowerment program at Wakulla, Sumter, and even Everglades. But his mother passed when he was at Everglades, and he went into a state of depression, and he did something at that particular time. We all understand. He acknowledged that. We were able to come back, and he was placed at New River until New River closed. I'm just asking that while we still have an opportunity, when I say we, the church family, that have been working with so many other persons over the years and working with Victor, still have an opportunity to impact his life. I know that something came up which caused me to not send aid to Victor again again, because I don't like my name tarnished or in any way, because I was being used as a conduit to support him in his needs or whatever he might need. And he has some relatives and family that I would basically send. And I sent one, I received something through a Western Union, and I made a statement that I received money, and I sent it not through Western Union, because there is no Western Union that I have ever sent money through. It was JPay, but someone sent it to me, and I sent it on to him. And for that, it seems as though that there was something challenging in that. And because of that, I have not said anything else additionally. I just continue to pray for him, continue to support him in there. And I am asking this commission to do whatever they can to be able to give us an opportunity to allow him in his latter days of his life to be able to experience the love of his family and the church family, which his mother so much graciously loved. And I'm asking you for your consideration in whatever way that you can make that possible for us. Mr. Mack?
Thank you, Reverend Harris. I want to concur with Reverend Harris' comments and what has been done. Also, I've been working with Reverend Harris for more than 20 years, but on this particular case, I have been there for the 20 years. He's also been assisting Mr. Robinson. We ask for your mercy and grace in giving Mr. Robinson an opportunity to continue to hopefully be able to participate in some programs. A commissioner in life, there are issues that comes upon the individuals where they have a relapse of judgment. There's some people who are who have drug addictions who relapse into their drug addiction, or individuals who have anger problems who relapse into engage in behavior of anger. And Mr. Robinson had a serious relapse in judgment when he was in the CPT program, and he had to pay the consequence for that. We'll be hoping, though, Commissioner, that he will be given another opportunity to re-engage in some programs. At the age of 63, he's been incarcerated now for 43 years for an armed robbery offense. And we hope in the commissioners that he'll be allowed to again make some additional baby steps one day that he can earn the grace of parole. So we ask that the commission vote no change on the presumptive parole release date, bringing him back in 2 years. But at minimum, I hope the commission will consider him a candidate for the PCT program. The Parole Commission don't think that's appropriate. I hope you will consider putting him in the FAST program at Tomoka. And hopefully, at some point, if the commission believes he's deserving, that it can once again rejoin the CTT program, but he's going to have to earn it. And I'm hoping this will be a part of the process of getting him to earn an opportunity to be placed back in the CTT program, allowing him to participate in either the PCTP program or the pathway program at Tomoka. And thank you for listening, and good morning once again.
Thank you, Mr. Mack and Reverend Harris. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in support in the Victor Robinson case at this time? Hearing none.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. This is LaRae Smith in support of Victor Robinson being given another opportunity to perhaps attend the CTP program. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone else? Hearing none, we will move to testimony in opposition. I know that we have Lieutenant Manna from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Is there anyone else in addition to the lieutenant who will be speaking in opposition to this case? Okay, Lieutenant, you'll have up to 10 minutes to make 10 minutes to make your comments. And if you could state your name for the record, we'd like to hear from you at this time.
Good morning, Commissioner. back to him. 1981. Conference was the convenience store in Jacksonville area, Riverside, Little Village. They entered the pistol, they robbed the business, also decided they entered the store, they found microwave books, the store manager. They violently pushed him to the ground, took his wallet, the cash away from his wallet. Another employee came in with Claudia Ellis. She told the suspect to fire up. She was scared. She started screaming. The inmate accomplice pulled her to lay down on the ground to be quiet. She was really scared. The third employee, named George Bell, was running in the back of the store in the office. He heard the commotion. He got to see what was going on. They made him crawl to the bathroom and forcefully made him hug the toilet in the bathroom. In that process, they took his wallet, cash with his wallet. He went back to the office, looking into other items in the field. They found the Smith & Wesson 38 caliber revolver. On the way out, the Robinson Hill got the register. Cash was taken from the cash register before the suspect left running or slipped down the top of the street. After the fact, both Robinson and his brother drove into the child with much of the property, especially taken into the police. It should be noted that the store that robbed is no longer. The employees suffered a traumatic event that particular day. Their last were free due to the aggravated factor of the robbery of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I will say, Lieutenant, typically when you appear before us, you're innocent. I believe this is the first time you've been in uniform.
Look sharp, though, I tell you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition in the Victor Robinson case? Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote. In the matter of Victor Robinson, I've had the opportunity to review this case in its entirety. I've listened very closely to all of the testimony here today. After a full and complete review, my vote is to agree with the commission investigator. I have no change, leaving the PPRD of October 11, 2028 in place. I will set this for a 2-year review, January 2026, and I have a referral to the Tomoka Pathways Program. Commissioner White.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for your testimony. And my vote is consistent with that of Commissioner Davidson.
Next, we have then on the item 8 on page 5, Jamie Slide. If you'd like to be heard on the slide case, please come forward or press star 6. Alright, we'll temporarily pass that. Item 9 on page 5, Corey Small. If you'd like to be heard on the small case, please come forward or press star 6.
Madam Chair, I would like to refer the small case to the full commission for consideration of an extension greater than 60 days.
Ms. Schreier?
Hello?
So this case will now be heard by the full commission for consideration of an extension greater than 60 months. Yes, are you on the slide case? Of a small one.
Ms. Cole? Ms. Cole?
Ma'am, are you calling on the Corey Small case?
I am calling on Jamie Slide.
All right, we'll go back to item 8 on page 5.
Okay, we are taking up the case of Jamie Slide, which before the commission we have a subsequent interview that was conducted on February 20, 2024 at the Sumter Correctional Institution. The commission investigator is recommending no change. Ma'am, are you appearing in support or opposition in the Jamie Slide case?
In support.
Is there anyone else on the line who will be making comments in support in the Jamie
No,
Slide?
our daughter was unable to do so. She's engaged with the children this morning and could not do it. I am a teacher of severe autism, and I'm sitting watching my class from afar right now, and I'm going to briefly tell you what I want to tell you. Really, all I want to tell you.
You could state your name for the record, and then we'd like to hear from you.
Oh, absolutely. It's Linda Wagner Gibson.
Okay, go ahead.
I really only want to say that I'm hoping that you don't confuse him with his twin. By the time Jamie was arrested, he was had already started turning his life around. Very young and under the influence of his twin brother, who is polar opposite of him. If the state of Florida had not released Jeremy from G. Pierce Wood when it was closed, none of us would be talking about this case today. Jamie is, I would very much like it if you would give him an opportunity to get a sooner release date. He's fulfilling a lot of programs right now, and when the program is fulfilled, his consideration is possibly to go to Everglades to get in part of a release program. And that's what we're all hoping as family members and supporters in this situation. If he says it's in the Lord's hands, and he will continue to do good where he is if this doesn't go that direction. And of course, it's in your hands and in your good judgment. But that's really all I wanted to say today.
Ma'am, are you the inmate's former wife?
I am.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
He's a fine man, and he's doing good, and he has a good heart, and he always has. This was orchestrated by his brother, and his twin brother, and his twin brother had been incarcerated from the time he was 4 years old in mental institutions, and Jamie was not. And it's very complicated, but everybody's considered this has been a tragedy, not just for the victims, but for everybody, really.
Thank you. We'll now move to any testimony in opposition. Is there anyone either present or on the line who would like to speak in opposition in the Jamie Sly case? Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote. We'll start with Commissioner Wyand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Gibson, for your testimony today. After a full and complete review of this case, my vote is to agree with the recommendation of no change. Leave the PPRD in place at August 31st, 2104, setting a 7-year interview for December 2030. Reasons for the extended interview are unreasonable risk to others, brutal and heinous behavior, use of a deadly weapon with a bat.
Commissioner, I actually viewed this case somewhat differently. Based upon the numerous programs that Mr. Sly has participated in, as well as the Lifers program, and the fact that he has not done any VRs and has a intact release plan. My vote is to disagree with the commission investigators. I have a 48-month reduction, which was set to the PPRD at August 31, 2100. And I would set this for a 3-year review of December 2026. And the extended interview would be for the reasons you previously indicated. I would add to the deadly weapon a dumbbell or a barbell, as well as the bat. So we have a split on whether to make no change or to reduce, and so we will refer this to Madam Chair for her consideration.
I'm going to agree with Commissioner Davidson based on the program and the lack of VRs, and I agree with the next interview date that is indicated with both commissioners on those three. All right, next is item number 10 on page 6, Andre Smith. If you'd like to be heard on the Smith case, please come forward or press star 6 now. I will temporarily pass that. Item 11 on page 6, Edward Smith. If you'd like to be heard on the Smith case, press star 6 so come forward. We'll temporarily pass it. Item 12 on page 7, Ronald Brown. If you'd like to be heard on the Brown case, please come forward or press star 6. Unanimously passed. Item 13 on page 7, Charles Butler. I believe there's a continuance request of 24, 1024.
I agree.
Oh, good morning. Which case are you calling in on?
Yes, the party is Butler. Hello? Yes?
We took up the...
Good morning.
Ma'am, we took up the Butler case and there was a request for continuance. And so we voted to continue the case to April 24th.
April 20 what?
April 24th, which is next week.
Okay, because we got a letter for April 17th. That's what I was wondering.
Right, and that's the letter the commission sent. And since then, we received a request asking Mr. Butler to continue the case to next week.
Okay, so what time? Thanks,
are you with Mr. Butler or?
Yes, I'm the sister-in-law of Charles Butler.
Okay.
Inez Butler. I received a letter that was today.
All right, so the case is continued. We will take it up next week at 9 a.m. or hearings will start at 9, but
hearing.
good.
I can listen to it. Mm-hmm. Somebody, I couldn't hear you.
It will be for 9 a.m. next week.
Okay, 9 a.m. next week. Okay. Thank you so much. Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yes. What case are you calling on?
All right, I think we'll move on right now. Go to item number 14. Please come forward.
We are continuing with the parole supervision review portion of the docket. We're taking up the case of Leon Harrison. This interview took place on March 5th, 2024. The inmate is currently reporting annually on the offense of strong arm rape. The recommendation is to terminate supervision. I'd like to see if there's anyone, if Mr. Harrison is present either here or online. Is there anyone who is appearing in support in Leon Harrison, either present or here online?
Hello?
Yes, what case are you calling for, ma'am?
Well, I'm Ronald Brown. Y'all had said his name. I was trying to hit the button to talk to someone about his case. I mean, he's not locked up. He's on parole and trying to get him off, consideration.
If you will just hold on, don't mute or anything. We're going to complete the case that we're currently working on, and then we will go back to the Ronald Brown case. So just,
okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't mean to be rude. Okay. I just didn't know this much.
Okay, we are continuing on the Leon Harrison case. We have Alexandra from the Victim Services Office, and you'll be reading a letter on behalf of the victim?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anyone else in addition to Alexandra who will be making comments in opposition in the Leon Harrison case? Hearing none.
Scott, Board of Commission on the Review Victim Services. I have a letter that was requested to be read out loud. This letter was experienced expectations of feeling interest from August 13, 1972, when I was brutally raped and my virginity was stolen from me at age 17 by Leon Harrison, Larry Peake, and Thomas Williams. During the course of a 3-day trial, they all told the truth, and all 3 were convicted of the brutal crime, along with Thomas Williams turning in state evidence, also Larry Peake from the beginning. That rape still is very painful for me, even if I'm trying to write this letter. I have 41 years in nursing, and I work in ICU, surgical, cardio, and the emergency room department. I am 68 years old, and the rape is still very painful. I believe that I had PTSD without any medication or counseling, but to God to be the glory, I changed from being a victim to being victorious. Leon Harrison talked to the parole board and lied to them that he has a reform with me, and that is a lie. Also, he came up to me in front of people, leaned over and whispered in my ear and told me his Muslim name, and grabbed my hand, then said his real name. I was asked to be mistress of ceremony at a memorial church that day, and I wasn't aware of him being there because he used his Muslim name in the program. If I had known that Leon Harrison was going to be there, I would never accepted that invitation as mistress of ceremony. He violated it. He wanted me to write a letter for him to come off the roll. The devil is a liar. The assistant state attorney was informed of his actions, and he called his parole officer, and she in turn told me, Leon Harrison must stop the lying and sending messages to his family members. It has been 40 plus years, and I want him to leave me and my family alone. Will you please help me? Sincerely, Patricia Dixon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition at this time? Hearing none. In the case of Leon Harrison, and I have reviewed this case multiple times in terms of the review, Mr. Harrison, who appeared here once, and the vote did not go his way, said that he will never appear before us again. And he has truly continued to do that, as he is not here, either present or on the line. It is significantly concerning. Even in the interview with the parole officer, he indicated that Ms. Dixon, who is the victim in this case, has forgiven him for what he did back several years ago, where it is very clear that the victim has not forgiven him based on the letter that was read here today. And unfortunately, as the victim said, Mr. Harrison continues to lie during the course of his supervision. So my vote here today is to disagree with the commission investigator. I will continue him on annual supervision and set the next review for January 2026. Commissioner White.
I agree. Right, and I would ask Victim Services, if you have information that he has contacted the victim and there's no contact order, that you make us aware of that. This is out of 15 on page 8, name McKay.
We're going back to Ronald Brown.
I'm sorry, you're correct. We're going back to Mr. Brown.
Okay, ma'am, are you still on the line at the Ronald Brown case?
Your line may have been muted for star 6 to mute your line.
Are you still there on the Ronald Brown case? All right. As the chair indicated, sorry.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. Yes. We are taking up the case of Ronald Brown. This interview took place on January 29, 2024. The defendant is currently reporting quarterly on the offenses of robbery with a gun, a deadly weapon, burglary, and on possession of a firearm. Is Mr. Brown on the line?
Yes, he is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We would like to hear from you, Mr. Brown, as well as ma'am, I'm not sure what the name is, but yes.
Norma Jackson. Norma Jackson.
Okay, so we'll hear from Mr. Brown, and then we will hear from you, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, this is Ron Brown.
Okay. Go ahead. We'd like to hear what you'd like to say.
I'm at the track to come off the road.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Jackson.
All right.
Okay, yes, as I say, he was diagnosed over a year ago with Alzheimer's dementia, and I've been his caregiver ever since then. So just hoping that year, he will be considered coming off parole a year.
Thank you. Is there anyone on the line who would like to speak in opposition in the Ronald Brown case?
No, it's just me and him here today. I'm here fixing breakfast. It's just us today.
So I'm just checking to see if there's anyone else on the line that's not with you who would like to speak in opposition.
Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, sorry.
Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote in this case. And I've had the opportunity to review this case in its entirety, and I'm fully aware of Mr. Brown's record. Particularly during the term of supervision, he has been on parole since 2008. He's currently reporting quarterly. But after full and complete review of this case, I will note that the recommendations here, there's no change. However, the parole officer noted Mr. Brown. Well, actually, the recommendation is to move from quarterly to annual supervision. The parole officer noted Mr. Brown's medical condition, which inhibits his ability to be on parole. So after full and complete review of this case, my vote is actually to terminate Mr. Brown's supervision. Mr. White.
My vote is also.
All right, thank you for calling in. The supervision has been terminated. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Okay. Item 15 on page 8, like to be heard on the McCain case, please come forward or press star 6.
David Goodwin.
Full supervision review. Picking up the case of Nay McCain. This interview took place on January 25, 2024. The defendant is currently reporting monthly on the offense of sexual battery by a victim, adult with a victim less than 12 years old. The recommendation is to make no change. I know that there are Mr. McCain and 4 individuals in support. Also note that there appears to be a number of individuals on the line in support as well. We'd like to hear from Mr. McCain and those in support, and then we will see if there's anyone who would like to speak in opposition. And I also would request that you all designate one person on behalf of the Corrections Petition Program to speak on behalf of the program, and then after that we will vote the case. We'll start with Mr. McCain. If you could go to the mic.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for granting me the role. So I'd like you to know in a moment how it's rolled. There's one crime, not violation, overridden. And I'm sorry, and I am able to look at you and request determination of parole. Okay. I say that because I feel that the only people I would for termination of parole would be somebody who qualifies as someone who does not need supervision and is no longer doing anything but being a burden on the system. If I were to be granted termination, ever, it wouldn't change much of my life, to be honest. I would no longer have payments to make monthly. I would no longer get a visit by my parole officer, and I would no longer have to report everything. The only thing I would add is that I would be able to live up to my obligations for my job and report to the other 8 officers that I am unable to visit, or to just simply the Austin, Texas office where I'm located at now. And I would also visit some of my family around the state and other states. To wrap it up, in conclusion, again, I've not violated any crimes or anything since I've been out. And I cannot sit and say that I'm a great guy. Look at what I've done. But I can say I'm a remorseful guy. And that remorse should always be a man that will never
speak on behalf of the Corrections Transition Program?
Yes, sir.
David Goodwin is here.
Either Mr. Goodwin or Mr. Welch, either.
Go ahead, Mr. Goodwin.
Well, I'm glad the others are there, but I would like to speak. I have been involved with Nate since before he got out several years, and it was through David Welch that I met him and got to know him. I spoke when he got parole. We are also aware, and forgive me, my name is David Goodwin. Good morning, Commissioner Davison, Commissioner Wyatt, and Madam Chair Coonrod. It's always a privilege, an honor to speak to y'all. I thank you for that position. And I do believe that Dave McCain can follow in that, just like David Welch has. Tim Kaine, we went a couple of months ago to Everglades. I went last month. We're going the 26th or 27th. And this is the kind of guys that I step up for. You know I don't call much anymore. But this is a man who I believe, because of his brother and the family contact, his wives, everything going on, it would be a great advantage if he was off of parole. He called me when he had to postpone it, and he didn't know what to do. He calls me regularly. We talk at a personal level. And I know that whatever is right, he's going to do if he has to call me. And he's done it over and over. So with the not being able to get to his parole officer, finally we come to this day. But the thing that stands out is just like David Welch when he called and asked about leaving Noah before his time, and I told him to go to the commissioner. And the same thing that I told Nate. Nate followed. I have no doubt that Nate McCain will be the kind of citizen that you're seeing in Tim Kaine and in David Welch and in myself. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Welch. I believe that Mr. Sean McCain is here. Would you like to make comments?
My name is Sean McCain. Good to see you again, commissioners. Been here many times. First of all, I'd like to thank you actually for allowing me to speak on my brother's behalf. As you know, I'd also like to thank you for releasing. Again, I'm here to support my brother and his future growth. Releasing my brother was my decision. He's been unbelievable. He currently is Chief Operations Officer for Technology City Management and Expansion for Windows. We have 9 cities across the United States. We're about to expand. We call it to 20. In his position, he builds our software, websites, codes for the company. As Chief Officer, he also runs all the IT for the entire company for all 9 cities. Since his release, he's over exceeded everyone's expectations. He works 12 to 16 hours a day, and his list of accomplishments is too long to cover here today. But as promised by me, he's had a great support system and will continue to have. My mission since his release is to make him the most successful and productive person ever parole. So to make him as productive as possible to society, I would like to humbly ask the commission for the termination of this parole. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move to testimony in opposition. Is there anyone present or to speak in opposition in the name of?
I'm speaking in support.
I'm speaking in support too.
Okay, we're going to just note those persons who would like to speak in support. If you could state your name for the record. And
Alan Cohen. Alan Cohen.
Trudy Jankowski.
Okay. All right. We will now move to any testimony in opposition. Hearing none, we will proceed with the vote in the case of Nate McCain. And I've had the opportunity to review this case multiple times. I've looked at it from the standpoint of whether or not to parole, whether or not to make any changes after we made the decision to parole. I will tell you, Mr. McCain, that the request for termination today is a very calm request, which I'm going to be very clear at this point, I am not there. The recommendation of your parole officer is to make no change to your monthly supervision. I will note the offense, sexual offense, against the child less than 12 years old that you were incarcerated for. Based upon that, my vote here today is to agree with the commissioner's investigators, agree with the parole officer, and make no change, leaving you on monthly supervision, setting the next review for November 2025. Commissioner White.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. McCain. And I'll also note for the record, many correspondence received from you, and I note the good things you're doing in the company. I know from my record, in 22, we reduced your quarterly reporting to leave your curfew. However, in the state of Texas, the interstate compact where you're serving your parole has you reporting monthly. Is that right? Yes, sir. Okay. And I know your successes since you've been on supervision, and I know you're 1 week or 2 weeks shy of being out for 4 years. And these cases are always tough to evaluate, whether it's parole and also during the review. What you've accomplished and being successful since you've been on for 4 years. My vote is actually to move you to semi-annual reporting, setting a next review date of November 2025. Keep in mind, since you are under interstate compact, Texas may or may not respect that, and that's up to them as the supervising state. But as far as I'm concerned, with the state of Florida, my vote is to move you to semi-annual reporting.
Okay. We have a split in the vote. My vote is to make no change. Officially, you on court leave, but you're reporting monthly based upon the requirements of Texas. Commissioner Wyatt has voted to move you to semi-annual. We will refer the case to Madam Chair for her consideration.
I will agree to move you to semi-annual, and I believe you have a request maybe for trouble.
Yes, he does. Yes. For work, can he move to, for work purposes?
Hold it. I believe that Mr. McCain said he does not have a request.
Okay. They're not going to let me do it. There's no reason to make a request. I requested to go to Jefferson Interstate Compact, and it's awesome to be free and be there around my family. If I must report every month, reporting every month is what it is. If I cannot go to the other offices or get travel approval, that is what it is too. Because this is what I've done. I'm wearing them, and I appreciate everything.
As far as travel throughout Texas, I think you would have to get the state of Texas permission.
And they're not.
And they may confer with us, but it's their interstate compact is up to them.
They told me they're just not going to do it. We don't do that.
Okay. So based upon today's vote, you're moved from quarterly to semi-annual with the next review of November 2025.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Wyatt, just for the record, if you agree with him traveling for work purposes in the event that Texas does consider our vote.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that travel for work purposes. If you want to report that back to your PO, if they need some kind of correspondence from my office to support that, or the chair's office, I'm in support for you to be able to work. I mean,
and I have no opposition to travel for work purposes as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
The last case that we're going to hear on the panel docket before we move to the Schofield case is Marianne Van Dogen, item 16 on page 9.
We are continuing with the parole supervision review portion of the docket, taking up the case of Marianne Van Dogen. This interview took place on February 28, 2024. The offender is currently reporting semi-annually on the offense of first murder. The recommendation is to move from semi-annual to annual reporting. Good morning. I see that there are several individuals who are here. I see Ms. Sutherland at the microphone. I don't know what order, if you want to start with Ms. Van Dogen or with Ms. Sutherland. It's your 10 minutes to use as you elect.
Yes, sir. We're going to start with Ms. Sutherland, move to Mr. McKenzie, and then we'll see what time we have. Honorable Chairman, goodbye. Thank you so much for the honor and privilege to be here today. And I'm here today to support Marianne Van Dogen. Marianne Van Dogen has Sydney, and she's in parole. She has not stopped to get back to the environment that she came from. She travels to stay to go back and talk to incarcerated veterans and telling them her story, but not just her story, but encouraging them, and also talking about the huge. That's what I love about Mary Ann is the accountability that she actually portrays herself and she tells others they have to be well. She has a successful job. She has a successful living right now as far as her transportation. Before she has transportation, she has a home. She has, but she needs to do that. And she's frequently asked by the Department of Corrections staff, personnel to speak at different events, such as reading seminars, reading installation. She's asked to speak in churches. She's asked to speak in. She's really thorough. Her assistant to kind of look her traveling dates because she is asked to speak to her, especially because her heart is very passionate about her story and about giving back, but also because of the heart she has for Jesus as well. I'm proud of her. I'm proud that she actually was parole, but I'm more proud of the woman that she is today. She is a successful tax-paying citizen, but she is today. She has been a leader, but inside, while the able to express authority. And she can be incarcerated. She's also been a leader of those outside the prison now, back in the community. She has, since she was parole, she has not only become the person and I am proud of the woman again that she is today. She has a success story that is very much for her. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Ken McKenzie. I'm a former Green Beret officer, served in Vietnam. I'm also a former special agent for the FBI over in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. Bank robberies, fugitive, and top 10 were my specialty. I speak today on behalf of Mary Ann's release. I put a lot of prison, and I know that Mary Ann served 27 years, 30 days incarcerated for a crime she committed. After leaving the Bureau, I started a podcast called Death or Prison. It's got a very intriguing name. The idea of Death or Prison is to give encouragement, inspiration, more importantly, the Lord God Almighty, into the lives of prisoners. Mary Ann has been our most recent guest. She gave her story of abuse beginning at the age of 5, where she and her siblings. She gave her story of sexual abuse beginning at the age of 7 to her stepbrother, who did her stepmother and family. She gave her story of leaving the home, running away from the home at 18. And then after that, as she said, jumping from the frying pan into the fire. She was, the circumstances after she left the home were even more horrendous than since the time she's been released, she has been fulfilling her obligation to God. She made a vow to God that she would continue to do His work, and that's exactly what she's been doing. She showed no animosity, no anger, no bitterness towards people who used her and abused her as a young child. She only has forgiveness in her heart. I heard this time and time again from her. She has forgiveness and she has love and she has compassion. She's been out there sharing this compassion, sharing this love, the incarcerated men and women that she's had the opportunity to. I asked for her release so that she might take this program to other states as her desire is, to be able to travel and to witness to the glory of God as Savior. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. McKenzie. Ms. Bendall.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very honored that I'm able to stand before you today. I know I have a lot of people surrounding me. One particular I'd like to point out is this young lady was the her name is Mama Meredith, and she was my ex-husband Michael's stepmother for 14 years. Standing next to her is her husband. It's very important to me that these individuals are supporting me today. I'm very grateful for the love that I'm surrounded with. May 12th of 1992, when I murdered my husband, Michael Van Dongen, I affected the lives of so many people. And the remorse that I have is something that will live with me the rest of my life. You don't fix knowing that you hurt people that you loved and people that loved you. I am grateful for the experience of being outside those gates again after 27 years. And whatever your decision is today, I want you to know that I will never disappoint you if you feel like you make the wrong decision. I'm giving you a second chance outside the gate. I would love to see my parole terminated if that is the decision of the court. And it's not as in charge of my life. And anything that happens, I am dealt with because I was related to the today.
Ms. Van Dalen, I just have one question. In your the interview packet, your parole officer I'm looking for your comment, and the parole officer said not available comment. Can you explain why you were not available to comment to your parole officer?
Well, I work with my parole officer every Tuesday night with the basic program at Santa Fe College. And she called my office yesterday and talked to my work supervisor, and I was standing right there. And I didn't have any missed calls from her. And she and I have a good relationship, but I don't understand what that meant. Miss Farrell and I work together on Facebook. We worked on Facebook now for almost 2 years together. Yeah, so call her as soon as we get through and let her know what the results were. We have a same parole officer. Yeah, we have the same parole officer, Donna and I.
I'm just going to make sure. It says,
and then she called me when she got the form to fill out. She said, I got it. I'm getting it in the mail. It'll go out tomorrow. I don't know.
one second. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Release's comment. The offender was not available for a statement at the time of this report.
I don't understand.
And completed by Mary Farrell on March 1.
I talked to her the day she got the form. I don't know. My daughter, Brandy, is 7 months pregnant, and she's also an emergency room nurse at the hospital she was born at. I don't know if she's on the line, but I know she sent a letter of support. I don't know if her schedule will allow her to be online today. Senator Barry was going to be here with me today, but unfortunately his schedule was a little hectic. And I just want to thank you again for whatever the decision was made. I appreciate you guys very much.
Well, I'll let you know. I spoke to Senator Perry regarding your work and attitude.
Thank you.
All right, before we move to vote this case, I'd like to see if there's anyone either on the line or present who would like to speak in opposition to Mary Ann Van Dalen case.
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're appearing in opposition?
No, definitely not in opposition, only in support.
Okay, go ahead.
I know you guys are running short on time. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. My name is Denise Turbeville. I was incarcerated with Mary Ann for many, many years. She was an inspiration inside, and she continues to inspire people, to motivate people, encourage people out here. And like she said, she's never going to let you down. She's never going to disappoint you. I thank you for the mercy that you've shown her with freedom, and I pray that you would give her the grace of full release of parole. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Before we vote the case, I will just note that there are 8 individuals who appeared with Ms. Mendogan here today in support. We will now vote the case. We'll start with Commissioner Wyatt.
Thank you, sir. I've had the chance to review your case in its entirety, having voted on it previously and voted to parole you. A little over 4 years ago, 5 years ago almost. Like I said, I've talked to the senator, heard your testimony today. And looking at I understand your age at the time of the offense. More importantly, I know the good things you've done since you have been paroled. And like I said, in several hearings before, anytime we parole someone and they do well, it makes us look good. It's like we know what we're doing, so we appreciate that. And considering all things, noting your service to the community and things you've done and giving back, I feel you're no longer a threat to society, so my vote is to terminate your
My vote is a little bit different. The full and complete review of this case, noting the serious nature of the first-degree murder, noting the fact that you have been on supervision for less than 5 years. My vote today is to agree with your parole officer to move you from semi-annual to annual reporting, setting the next review for December 2025. We have a split. My vote is to move you from semi-annual to annual. Commissioner Wyatt is voting to terminate the supervision. So we'll refer this case to Madam Chair for her consideration.
Ms. Mendogan, I send a role at least twice that you were there. Speak to the ladies, and I appreciate you doing that. I know that you stayed out of trouble and doing good, so my vote would be to terminate. Congratulations, girls. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. We're gonna take a 5-minute recess so that my camera can be placed. Schofield case, which will be taken up as
I'm sorry to intervene. I'm really sorry to intervene. I have a question. Did you guys call the H. Rashid case or not?
no, not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll be in recess. 8:45 a.m. We're back on the record. This is Melinda Kumar with the Commission on Offender Review. Joined with Mr. Mason and Commissioner Wyatt. We're about to start the full portion of the docket where all 3 commissioners will be voting. The first case that we're calling is item 22 on page 12, Leo Schofield. This is an effective interview that was conducted on March 27, 2024 at Redlands CI. The investigators recommending parole. Good morning, Judge. Good to have you here with you.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Support. Alan Cohen in support.
I'm going to say there's going to be, I'm not going to say much until the end. I want folks read the expressions they're going to see. I'm not sure.
I recommend in support of Schofield.
I'm not sure who's going to hear from me.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Willie Griffith, CTP alumni. I'm calling in support of Leo Schofield.
Okay, for those individuals who are on the line, if you could just hold your statements. We're hearing, and you'll be recognized at the appropriate time. So we're hearing from Mr. Colt at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. First, I'd like to call Sergeant Simmons. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sergeant James Simmons. I'm currently employed at Jefferson Correctional Institution. I've been with the department 28 years. Of those 28 years, I've known Leo Schofield for 27 of those years. Of those 27 years, me and Leo Schofield have worked together for the last 10 years. Leo Schofield is was a great inmate at Hardy Correctional Institution. He was a great asset there. I know inmate Schofield has to be theology class that earned a degree in that. I know he got a large Bible class. He also helped me in the lock and key department. I was a lock and key sergeant. He was my orderly. One day we were working for the lockout, and I was a real bad diabetic, and my blood sugar dropped. As I was falling forward, they tell me that Leo Schofield called before I get to concrete floor, placed me in a chair, and he knew I was a bad diabetic, and he took the meter out of my pocket, placed it on my device to see what my blood sugar was, and it was very low. He got me medical attention quickly and got me some staff in there to help me out. To this day, I am very thankful Leo Schofield was very helpful. I know Leo Schofield has a very great support staff with his wife and daughter and other family members. My professional opinion, I'm sure that Leo Schofield makes a great candidate before. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you for your service. Thank you, Sergeant David Welch. Good morning, fellow commissioners, Madam Chair, Commissioner Davidson, and Commissioner Wyatt. I stand before you today on behalf of Leo Schofield because this is a case that I know in and out. Because I met Leo when I was 17 years old. When I first entered the Department of Corrections. Leo Schofield met me off the bus when I was here, didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, what to do with my life. And then I just received a natural life sentence at that point. I am grateful for the grace of parole. I'm a proud member of CTP. Leo Schofield was an educational clerk. Back then, this was in 1994, and I was 17 years old. I'm 47. Leo Schofield told me when I first met him, going through the orientation process, that I could do my time a couple of ways. I could be like others, just play poker, play basketball, run around the red yard, waste my life, or I could make the best of it. That's what I did. He got me an education at that. So from then on, I got my GED, actually graduated, got my GED before I would have graduated from high school on the street. From then on, he continued to encourage me and impress me to go into vocational trade. So that started me on the path that ultimately led me to be here in front of me today to do my time wisely, to take advantage of opportunities to get an education and to do so for my life. Leo Schofield also signed me up for Kairos Prison Ministry. went to a conference retreat there. Didn't know anything about conference retreat. He was signing me up for that. Told me to be able to do it. That in turn changed my life because it surrendered my life to Jesus Christ. From then on, now today, I said before, I've been terminated. Well, I've become the chair of Kairos Prison Ministry, the Avon Park PI. In fact, tomorrow I have 36 men that are under the obligation to Kairos 57 Avon Park. Then on, from a very short time, I met Leo. Until today, I'm now still a citizen volunteer. I go back into prison every month. I'll leave Kairos 57 next month. And the education I received because of the influence of Mr. Leo Schofield when I first met him as a teenager. I've known him for 30 years. His character, demeanor, never changed one bit. I just know that having out of all respect to the advancement lined up in this case, Leo Schofield is not a threat to society in any kind of way. If Leo Schofield is released, I can guarantee you that I'll be there for him in Tampa at Noah's house. I can guarantee you that he will participate in CCP programs and also be here in Tallahassee to represent us. Leo Schofield will be a benefit to you guys. This is simply asking that's for a long time to give that chance because I believe in Leo Schofield. I know as the only request that you guys ask me, I'll let you down. Leo Schofield likewise will not let you down. You guys will as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Ross.
Thank you. Yes, lawyer.
My name is Jeffrey Goiter, BTT alumni, North House Community Outreach House Coordinator, Commissioner Davis, and Commissioner White. I've known Leo for well over a decade. We were students together, numerous classes, facilitated classes together. We lived in a dorm together. We got recreation together. We just lived in prison together, and I know firsthand what that involved. And Leo was always stayed the course. And no matter what came at him, he had a clear head and solid judgment. This is a very unique case. I know that Leo's heart goes out to his wife Michelle. Our hearts go out to Michelle and her family. So Leo is very mindful of that as well. He worked firsthand with me with the Peyton Tuthill and Peyton Tuthill Foundation and Ms. Tuthill. He recorded a record for her, recorded a whole record, copyrighted the record, and then sent the record to Ms. Tuthill where we recorded that music at RECI, and now that's part of the foundation story where they actually helped raise money for the children's scholarship. I know that we're not here to determine guilt or innocence, but can Leo, or some mindful study, can Leo conduct himself as a citizen, as a free citizen, as a responsible citizen? And I submit that he can. Pastor Tony Parker and I from Noah's Community Outreach, we've been talking about Leo for the past 2 weeks. There's a brand new house at Noah's house. There's 4 guys in it right now. Gregory Daniels, who was released yesterday, was the newest guy in the house. He came yesterday. So we have a bed for Leo at the new house where I'm the coordinator at that house. We have an all-star team there who will help lead and guide Leo post-release if you grant him grace today. And that is my humble request. Please grant Leo grace today. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not sure who's on the phone from CTP, but in about a minute, could you pick one person to speak, please?
Yes. Good morning, Commissioner Troy Martin. So, thank you, Mr. Coonrod, Mr. Davidson, Mr. White, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on Leo's behalf. My condolences to the victim, Michelle, and her family as well. I initially met Leo in 2002, October 2002 at South Bay, where he taught and played guitar in the chapel, in the choir. And Leo also taught guys to play the guitar. He continues to do so today in CTP. I see him on a weekly basis. He's thriving in the program. I believe it was a group called the OJs that sang a song that says, I love music. I want to say to you today, with all due respect, that Leo loves music as well. And he loves it so much that he's willing to give his time and energy to help others learn to play the guitar and have a love for music as well. I believe that he's an excellent candidate for parole, and I believe that he is the epitome of a model prisoner that would translate into being a successful citizen in society. I respectfully request that you parole him today. Thank you for your time and consideration.
My name is Gregory Buller, CTP.
I spoke with Leo last night. He actually called me. I talked to his lawyer, Mr. Nutt, last night.
Mr. Bullock.
A relationship. Yes, sir.
Mr. Bullock, we actually will note your support. We're moving on to testimony from Mr. Cole.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis.
I'm not going to belabor commissioners, but you already know we've had our meetings. You've reviewed the packet. I think you pretty much know what you want to do, and I suspect you're going to do the right thing. I trust you to do that. I can't say more than what these men have said and what the open has continued to achieve and exceed expectations for every step. One thing I do want to address, if you do grant your parole, which I believe you're going to do, I want to address the lockout date because it's very important. Very important deal. Very important for all of us. It needs to go as soon as possible. It needs to go April 30th, not in June, not 2 more months. If that becomes the lockout date, that, in my opinion, is merely secret. It serves no purpose whatsoever. With that, I'll turn the podium over to the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to move to those in opposition. Mr. Orr is here, and do you have anyone online wishing to speak? If so, press *6.
Hello?
Good morning. Are you speaking on the Schofield case?
Yes, but I'm not in opposition. I'm his brother. I tried to call in last year and I wasn't able to talk. I just wanted to say that my brother's been doing a lot of great things in prison, but he was doing a lot of great things before he went to prison. I didn't have much of a father, so he basically raised me, and I just wanted to be there for him for whatever I could, because I know he's a good man, a good person, and he's one of the only reasons why I've been able to make it through this life. And I just wanted to say thank you for an opportunity to get him out of prison. And I pray that you guys do the right thing today. And that's all I ask.
And what is your name?
My name is Jason Schofield.
Thank you, Mr. Schofield. All right, Mr. Orr, we'll hear from you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Jay Gore. I'm the State Attorney of the 10th Judicial Circuit. Good to be with you again. Last year I addressed you regarding this case, and I told you then that you cannot pursue justice without first pursuing truth. And I believe that to be a true statement, and I think that it has a particular relevance to this case. The reason being, there's been a whole lot of media attention, as you know. TV shows, print media, multiple episodes, podcasts, and I'm reading that there's going to be more. There's going to be a TV drama series, maybe, and short novels in the works. It's all very entertaining. And in truth, it's an interesting case. I'm not going to go into all the facts, because I think you're kind of familiar with some of them. But it's a circumstantial case, one of the twists and turns, and the storytelling related to it has been outstanding. However, the truth-telling has been unacceptable. An example of that involves this commission happened in May of 2020. And Jerry Hill addressed you regarding the case. Mr. Hill recited certain facts of the case, including going into who found the body. I pulled the transcript. I just want to read a couple of things that Mr. Hill told you. He told you, quote, Mrs. Schofield's body was discovered in the canal located in a hilly wooded area on the morning of February 27, 87, by Leo Schofield, Sr. Later in his presentation, Mr. Hill told you that Leo was driven by an Air Force. He said he felt drawn to they played some clips about Leo searching. And then the narrator came in and said, that's it. Jerry Hill gets it wrong, and it made me feel bad. The narrator said that Jerry Hill made it sound like the body was found by the defendant, Leo Schofield Jr. Now take a minute and focus on that before. Obviously, that's not what happened if you were here. But it's worse than that, because this is not argument or interpretation of facts and the rest. It's not a narrative told from a particular point of view. That is 180 degrees opposite of what happened in front of you. It's false. This should cause concern for anybody that thinks they know facts about this case because they heard a podcast, read something on social media or the internet, or even a newspaper article. Because good storytellers picked up this case. And they told stories that are incomplete, that misrepresent the actual evidence in the case, and sometimes are false. You are reading, or more likely hearing, a very compelling story that has no fidelity to the truth. Today, we've gone through one black and white example that involves this commission. There are many, many others when you get into the facts of the case. Now, why am I telling you this? Why is it relevant to today? Because my one answer is whatever decision you make, don't base it on sensational media accounts that present a traumatic history. Base it on truth. In the criminal justice system, trial courts, appellate courts, parole commission, whatever it is, it's of the utmost importance that we always pursue truth. Because it's our only chance at pursuing truth. This case has been reviewed by multiple trial judges, multiple panels of appellate judges for over 30 years. And there's a difference between what they do in those reviews and the entertainment industry. In court, you can't edit out the facts you don't like. You can't edit the facts to fit your storyline. What those judges have done is reviewed this case based on actual transcripts, actual evidence, and the law. And in all those reviews, every time they've determined there is sufficient evidence to support this conviction. Now, in the interest of fairness, I think it's important that I also tell you, I'm not telling you about those falsehoods in the media for you to hold them against Mr. Schofield. That's not my intention. He did not write those stories, he didn't edit the audio. I told you about the falsehoods so you could focus on the truth. The truth is, from what I know, he's been an outstanding inmate. Sounds like he's got an incredible support system, and you should consider all that. I also know that you should consider that people convicted of a terrible, violent crime. And you know that you must use caution before you release such a truth. I guess what I'm saying is, in the end, you determine that justice requires you be paroled or not, based on an honest review of evidence, the law, time you served, all the factors that you would consider in any other case. You do that with an honest review, then justice will be served. That's all anyone could ever ask you. You have a tough job. I thank you for your service to our state. I thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Orr. Do we have either Ricky or Jesse Thumb online? If so, press *6 and use your phone. Hearing none, we'll proceed with the vote, starting with Commissioner Davis.
In the matter of Leo Schofield, I've had the opportunity to review this case in its entirety. I've listened very closely to the testimony in support as well as the testimony in opposition here today. Today is not the first day that I've had the opportunity to give input into this case. Last time this case was before us, my vote was to extend Mr. Schofield's PPRD by 24 months and to refer him to the Corrections Transition Program at the Everglades Correctional Institution. However, the vote of this commission was to extend by 12 months, which would set the new PPRD at June 25, 2024, and an agreement to refer Mr. Schofield to the Corrections Transition Program at the Everglades Correctional Institution. Since that time, Mr. Schofield has participated in the CTP program, has done well, and I think that he has greatly benefited from his time there. I think that he will continue to benefit from his time in the Corrections Transition Program if he continues to serve until the PPRD date that this commission set, which is June 25, 2024. I know that there was some question here about walkout date. I think that walkout date should be consistent with the PPRD that this commission set less than a year ago. That date is not punitive. That date is necessary for moving Mr. Schofield toward a successful parole if he is paroled here today. So, as Mr. Orr has requested my honest review of this case, and that is my honest review of this case. So my vote here today is not a question of guilt or innocence. That is the province of the judicial system. This case has been litigated both in the trial as well as the appellate arenas, and that determination is that Mr. Schofield is guilty of first-degree murder. Today, my vote is to parole Mr. Schofield to the max on June 25, 2024, terms 4 and 5.
Thank you, Commissioner White.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all for your testimony today as it relates to Mr. Schofield. And I too have reviewed this case with entirety, and I'm familiar with the case. I've had meetings regarding the case, and during the last commission action, I stressed the importance of programming. Mr. Schofield has been incarcerated for a long period of time. A lot's changed since then. I felt it important that he get some programming from the CTP program. Since his admission into that program, he's done well and completed numerous classes. The testimony here today, of course, speaks highly of him as far as his interactions with those in the program. In reviewing this case in its entirety, considering all things, and I too support the court systems and their findings. Upon my review of this case, my vote today is parole to the max, April 30, 2024, reasons for it.
And after review of the entire record and hearing all the statements of an opposition and my vote would be to parole to the max for April 30th, 2024, reasons 4 and 5. Commissioner Davis, what are your conditions?
The special conditions are enter and complete the NOAA Community Outreach Program for a period of 1 year.
Agree.
Agreed.
Mandatory mental health and substance abuse evaluation and treatment as necessary.
Agree.
Agreed.
Anger and stress management evaluation and treatment as necessary.
Agree.
Agreed.
6 months community control during the NOAA outreach program, followed by 18 months of curfew, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Agree.
Agreed.
Participate in the aftercare components of the FIU alumni program and the NOAA Community Outreach Program.
Agree.
Agreed.
No contact with the victim's family in case number 88-2346.
Agree.
Agreed.
NAAA 3 times per week for the first year, 2 times per week thereafter.
Agree.
Agreed.
Pay restitution to be determined in case number 88-2346.
Agree.
Agreed.
And mandatory attendance at the first supervision before the Florida Commission on offender review unless otherwise excused for good cause by the Commission or the parole officer.
Agree.
Agreed.
I don't have any additional terms.
That concludes my vote.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very
Take a real brief break so that the cameras can be removed from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.